Okay, so as you know, 2 videos ago, I put a winch onto my lawnmower to turn it into a tow truck. And towing around lawnmowers is the goal. And I had a lot of success. I mean, it worked great. As a matter of fact, I lifted a 0 turn up and I was able to work underneath the back side of it, which I have not been able to do very well. It's always me crawling around on the ground, but this one lifted it all the way up. I was able to get under it and sit actually fairly comfortably, change out a belt. So when this is just lifting a mower, I don't know how much it can lift. I mean, the winch can lift 2,000 pounds, but I don't know how much the mower could lift before the wheels pop off the ground. But lifting a mower up, one side of the mower, it is not lifting the wheels off the ground at all. So I'm pretty happy with that. I can use it to lift the mowers. When I drive around on flat pavement or flat surfaces, or even a hill, I should say, you know, a flat surface, but even on a hill, I do not have a problem with the front wheels coming off the ground. But on rough terrain or on hilly rough terrain, as soon as the tow vehicle, this one, the vehicle being towed, hits any resistance, a rock, anything, a little bump, the front wheels of the lawnmower, of the beast, come off the ground. So, and that makes sense to me. I understand why it's doing it. This is a fulcrum, and the fulcrum is actually higher than the hood of the lawnmower. So the only thing it's trying to do is level the pull rope, even to this. So it's trying to level everything out. But I was a little disappointed in that. So my thought was, well, I'll put weight on the front end of it. So I was going to build a bumper guard, a wooden bumper guard, way out here, and put concrete blocks on it or something. I even thought about maybe buying, weights, the stuff that you lift weights with. Thought about that. And I just had this feeling that really wouldn't help me. I still had a feeling that if I hit a big enough rough spot, that the front end would come up no matter how much weight I would put in it, or the boards would break, or the transmission would break. If we got enough power to overcome whatever, the front wheels would still come off. And I just didn't like the front wheels coming off the ground because I couldn't steer. So I got to thinking about it, and I bought myself what is called I think it's called a snatch hitch or snatch, I don't know. Anyway, it's just a pulley, and I decided I was going to hook it up here. That way, if I get stuck, the beast gets stuck, I can take that pulley, put it here, put the cable in the pulley, and I can zing it out and pull myself, and it would back me out basically flat. And all the weight of the lawnmower would be on this. There wouldn't be any weight on this, actually. But if I were to pull myself out of a ditch here, the first thing that would happen is the front wheels would come off the ground. If what I was pulling up against was low to the ground. And it might even do it if it was, I don't know if it would do it if it was even. But anyway, we're talking about a fulcrum here. So I got to thinking, I know how to solve my issue. So yesterday, I put this on. This is a little wheelie bar, but I'm going to cut this off now. I don't like it, don't want it. But I put it on there because I thought, well, if I got to do wheelies, I don't want to do a wheelie and flip the thing. So this would stop me. But still, the wheelie was massive. Even though this is 2 inches off the ground, I mean, I was coming way up, and it felt horrible. I didn't like it. and I don't have steering. So I hooked this back up yesterday, this lawnmower, lifted it off the ground just a little bit, and I put this here, and I tied it off to, remember the hook, this hook is down now, and I tied it off to this hook. I can actually demonstrate a little bit. Okay, so now just imagine I got a little too low. So imagine that I have now picked up the lawnmower. And the back wheels are off the ground. So all I had to do, since this is hooked to the lawnmower, was tie this to the hook. Make it tight. Now this is doing all the pulling. This lifted the back wheels off the ground. The cable lifted the back wheels off the ground. But this is doing the pulling, the red strap, which does not have any fulcrum to it, which is what my problem was, is I had a fulcrum that was pulling the mower down. But with this, it pulls just like it always would. And I've never done a wheelie pulling lawnmowers before with this, you know, before I had this. So the only thing this is doing is just lifting it off the ground, so I don't have to worry about steering or anything like that. I can just lift it off the ground. While the strap is doing the pulling. And it worked perfectly. I mean, I'm up and down hills now, and I'm not having any problems with the front wheels coming off the ground at all. So that means I don't need any weight up there, which I didn't think I did. Because like I said, I can lift the lawnmower up and the front wheels stay on the ground. It's just when I was pulling on rough terrain. So this has solved my problem. And it was a fairly simple solution. I might use a chain or, you know, something better than this, but for now this will work. So now I have a tow truck that works. That video did really well where I showed how to build this. I was really surprised. I didn't think it would do well. So, let's see what else is going on. So this morning I went and picked up a mower and a pressure washer. And they were basically next door to each other. Man, that never happens. So I'll split the pickup charge between them. Now, let's see, the pressure washer really was no big deal. I just cleaned the carburetor. That was good money. You know, I didn't have to put any parts into it, just take it off. And these plastic carburetors, I know everybody tells me these modern day mowers are just terrible. But I'm telling you, these plastic carburetors are so easy to clean. Oh, I gotta put the filter back on. I keep trying to remind myself to put the filter back on. These, they're just so easy. But no, if it's a new mower, I'm not working on it. Let's see. If it wasn't made in the 50s, I'm not working on it. So this was easy. Runs great. This lady is going to buy a new mower next year. But she's having a huge concern about it leaking oil. Because this machine has little lights all over it when it's running, flashing and telling you all kinds of crazy stuff, that the oil is low. That's what she thinks it is saying. So she asked me to take a look at it. Well, it is the bottom seal that is leaking oil. It's quite obvious. So I would have to take the engine off. It would take me a few hours to do. But I ran it for a half hour. Now she says I run it for 10 minutes and I got to add oil. Well, I don't know where she's adding oil to, because I ran it for a half hour, and although there is oil on the ground, and quite a bit actually, I didn't have to add any at all. It didn't budge on the stick. So oil looks worse than it is when it drips down onto the ground. So I called her and I said I'll be happy to replace the seal. But she is concerned about money, so she, you don't want to just waste her money. I said, but I don't think if it was my mower and I was buying a new one next year, that I would invest in changing that seal out. I just don't know if it's worth it if you're not going to keep it. So put a new battery in it, because the battery was giving her a tough time. She didn't understand what it was. So I said, what it is that flashing red light has nothing to do with adding oil. The flashing red light means that you've hit 900 hours, and on these cup cadets, you're supposed to change the oil every 50 hours. So you're at the 50 hours. It should shut off. And it did for a while on me, because now it's at 901 hours. But it came back on. But the counter dropped. It went from 901 back to 900.9. So there's something wrong with the counter. So I would say that it's probably also miscalculating the oil change flashy light. So I told her that I don't know if I would change it. Just stop mowing every half hour. Check it just to make sure nothing has let loose. Get yourself a glass of water. The other problem she was having is it wouldn't start when it was hot. She'd run it for a while, shut it off, add oil, and then it wouldn't start. Well, it happened to me too. And so I thought, ooh, now that is a problem. But I smelled gas. It flooded. I was using the choke. This thing doesn't want to use choke after it's warmed up. It starts every time, as long as you don't use the choke after it's warm. So we'll take this back to her tomorrow. Unfortunately, I got to charge something. Of course, I got to charge for that battery. But I went and picked it up. Now I got to deliver it. So I had to give her, ask her for some money. And I know she doesn't want to pay it. She's not being mean. I just can tell she doesn't want to pay it. And I don't blame her. But I just can't just run all over town, looking at people's mowers. And I know I live in a poor area, and it always makes me feel bad that I got to charge them. But there's no reason for me to do this if I'm not going to make a little money off of it. So, but it's I like these mowers. Nobody likes these bucket engines. This is a Kohler bucket engine. Nobody likes them. Of course, these modern day engines, if you just follow the maintenance criteria, it does fine. I mean, it's got 1,900 hours on it. It's at the end of its life, and it's got one little leak. I know it looks terrible, but it's only got one little leak, and it really wouldn't take much to fix it. It's just going to cost some money. So I would take this mower. And it says check oil level before starting engine. So there you go. They've already sealed up the valve cover. Those leak a lot, but they've already got Permatex on it. That was what I thought we was going to have to do, but that wasn't a problem. So if you'll click this up next box to take you to a video over my other channel, I really appreciate it. Go check it out. So I hope I can inspire you. Find solutions to the problems so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.